This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello viewers, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2018, the year you and I have been waiting for. But first and foremost, I want to thank all of you who has been part and parcel of our family. When I mean our family, I'm talking about the Green Spring Group family, producers of Business and Economy Network. Without you, this program wouldn't have been on air. I want to thank all the broadcast stations. I want to say thank you so very much. We have started this year on a great note, and we believe with mutual understanding that is beneficial, we are going to make this year happen, and we are going to be great and happy for it. Well, we are starting this program on a new note. Now we're looking at the issue of health, pharmaceutical in Nigeria. Don't forget, they said health is wealth. We started this year by praying to God to give us good health. So also on our own part, how are we going to also take care of ourselves? With this, we have great Nigerians who have done so very well, especially looking at the made in Nigerian product, who have done very well in producing drugs in Nigeria. With us on the program today for Spotlight, we have the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Mitchell Laboratory, a company doing very well in faraway Enugu. They are with us on the program today. And for Company in Focus, today we are carrying the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of DRUGFIELD Pharmaceutical Limited, a company in Lagos doing very, very well as well. Not left out for special report, we have the Chairman, CEO of ARCHY Pharmaceutical Limited, also in Lagos, doing very well. And for next week, rundown, we are looking at an X-ray of the university, a unique university, university that started as small, but today they have grown. We are looking at Godfrey Okoye University, and we have the VC on the block. Also for next week too, we have the Director General of a unique agency in Nigeria, those into the automotive industry. I'm talking about National Automotive Design and Development Council. It's going to be an interesting watch. Once again, welcome to your program and welcome to 2018.
One to 2 teaspoonful of Coflax cough syrup 3 times daily gives you fast relief from chesty and dry cough. Coflax clears your cough and symptoms of cold associated with it. Coflax is available for adults and children. Coflax, the cough syrup for every family. Manufactured by DRUGFIELD Pharmaceuticals Limited.
The Nigerian pharmaceutical practice and industry systematically is expanding, diversifying, innovating, and in collaboration with associate industries. The pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria has been estimated to be $1.3 billion, which account for less than 0.25% of the gross domestic product. Effort has increased for local production of drugs, as the nation has ample potential in that aspect, and to make the country a hub for drug production in Africa, especially in West Africa. Healthcare provision in Nigeria is a concurrent responsibility of the 3 tiers of government in the country, while the private providers of healthcare have a viable role to play in healthcare delivery in the country. The pharmaceutical sector of any economy needs attention, and it's as important element like the national security. The health and pharmaceutical sector not only function to provide adequate and timely medical care, but also track, monitor, and control disease outbreak. The sector has been adequately given less attention in infrastructure development and budget provision, hence the medical tourism experience in the country today. The nation's pharmaceutical industry has suffered neglect over the years, despite Nigeria's strategic position in Africa. The country pharmaceutical and health is greatly underserved and non-regulated effectively, especially after the Dora Akunyili era. Local production should be encouraged. Banks should give attention to them to boost the GDP and create employment for the teeming youth of our great nation, Nigeria.
The way forward is that government should pay more attention to the health system. They should bring in more money into the health system so that we can buy the necessary equipments for the teaching hospitals. You go to the teaching hospitals, there's no ECG machine, there's no MRI, nothing. They have nothing. How can they function? If you have kidney problem, no dialysis machine. So the government should look into these things and then equip the hospitals, because it will help people going abroad for treatment. We now have the treatment in Nigeria. You can't blame somebody who has a kidney problem going abroad to go and do dialysis. You cannot have somebody who has a problem and you can't get a good diagnostic materials here. You have to go abroad to go and know exactly what is wrong with him. So I think government should pay more attention to these things, and then do what I'm telling you now. For the drug control is to minimize, eliminate if possible, the potential of drug into this country. I like the local manufacturers to produce these drugs, and it will be easy for them to monitor. The challenges have been all the time with local manufacturers is one, government patronage. Two, somersault in government policies. Thirdly, the importation of pharmaceutical products into this country. There's no reason why this country should be importing pharmaceutical products anymore, except orphan drugs. Orphan drugs, as you know, are those drugs that are still under patent or are patented by some companies that the patents are not expired. They're called orphan drugs, which you cannot get except through that companies. But apart from it, there's no reason why we should be importing drugs into this country anymore, because we are capable of producing all the drugs we require in this country. So this has been a challenge. If the government can help us and stop somersaulting in their policies, we who are bona fide manufacturers, like I don't import any drug out of my 70-something drug register. I don't import anyone. I produce all of them here. I don't import any drug. I refuse to import. But when you say what you want, most of them oppose you, because the government have not come out with a strong policy and say we don't want to see any drug that is imported into in the market again. There's nothing you can do about it. That's what you can do as a human, as a person. It's the government policies that means everything. So until the government comes out with a policy that will help to control these things, nothing you can do about it. Nothing. I cannot do anything. I'm only one man. So the government has to come out with a policy on these things, and it's for the government to know that these things are supposed to be done, and they know. I can employ more than 5,000 people here easily. Let me tell you, if the government says they want one of my products, and they give me an order for 1 million bottles, and I'm not able to manufacture the 1 million bottles, I import more machines and produce. I have the formula already. So what is the problem? And employ more Nigerians. I have the formula. I will buy more immediately, buy more machines, employ more Nigerians. Right. So why do I have to import it? Any formula you give me today, I will produce it for you, whatever it is. Just go and bring it. I can make it in this factory. In fact, the other time I was baffled in the TV when one of these camps of Boko Haram people were raided, and I saw Sikamox packets all over the place. I was baffled. So we are prepared. We can do it. They give us the order. See if we can perform. If they give us the order, we will produce and supply. We have the capacity.
Use Durogesic if you get back pain, muscle pain, I mean joint pain, rub Durogesic Put a me go warm, go reach deep down. No wonder, Neurogesic, they really pay. Yo ho ho, rub Neurogesic. Put a me go warm, go reach deep down. No wonder, Neurogesic, they really pay.
True, true, Neurogesic, it get power pass pain. Neurogesic, na DRUGFIELD Pharmaceuticals Limited, they make them.
Do you know you are being reliable and incisively being educated and informed? You are watching Business and Economy Network.
Once again, my name is Olakunle Ekundayo. I was born some 63 years ago in Akure, Ondo State. I had my primary education at one of the foremost primary schools in town, St. David's Anglican Primary School. I also had my secondary school education in the town at Aquinas College, Akure. I had a brief stint at the Yaba College of Technology for 2 years. I did science laboratory technology, after which I proceeded to the then University of Ife and read pharmacy at both the bachelor's and the master's degree levels before I started my work career. I worked briefly with Glaxo Nigeria Limited of that time, which is now GSK after a number of mergers and acquisitions, and then proceeded to Pfizer, where I rose to become the production manager in the manufacturing plants. I then left Pfizer to do a pioneering job for Doyin Pharmaceuticals to help set some additional dosage form areas, which the experience I got from Pfizer. So after that, I left to start something on my own, DRUGFIELD Pharmaceuticals. The name came, I would say, by inspiration. I never saw it anywhere, but it just came to me, and I decided to incorporate it. Actually, in 1991, I incorporated it, as a limited liability company while I was still working. So, so by the time I now decided to do something on my own in 1993, then it became handy. So now, manufacturing had been my passion even since my days in the university. I already made up my mind that as soon as I finished a pharmacy degree, I was going to work in the factory. But by the time I decided I wanted to do something of my own, I didn't have money, but I had a skill. And I said to myself, how do I start to do something? So I narrowed down to the least challenging of all the products, ointments, because I had a skill and I knew it. So that's how I started with penicillin skin ointment in 1993. And I started, and even before I started selling, a friend of mine who, because at that time Inlax went into pharmaceuticals and they just started. So a classmate of mine was the pioneer marketing manager. So he said, when your penicillin is ready, let's look at it, maybe we can distribute it for you. And that was exactly what happened. I took it there, they said, yes, we'll distribute it for you, we'll pay you after every 30 days. So they gave me the first LPO to bring 5,000 tubes. 2 weeks after, they said, bring 30,000 tubes. By the time I received the first payment, it was over 300,000 naira in 1993. So I said, wow, this is money. I said, let me add other products. I added gentamicin skin ointment, I added Whitfield, and everything was, they were taking it and they were paying. When they say Rome was not built in a day, it is very true. If I did not have the understanding and cooperation of our regulator, NAFDAC, at that time, maybe DRUGFIELD will not be born as a manufacturing company today. What do I mean? At that time, I had a small place, a 2-bedroom apartment, and I went to NAFDAC. I wanted to do ointments. And the head of the technical unit said, well, we know you. You are production manager for Pfizer, so you have a lot of experience. So what you do, you don't have money to set up your own lab, go to Pfizer. If they agree to analyze your raw materials and finished products, and then we'll come and inspect what you have, set up a place for in-process quality control to check weights. And if you can do that, we'll approve you. And I went to Pfizer. And that's why when you work in a place, make sure you don't mess up. I went back to Pfizer and they agreed. They gave me a letter. Yeah. I took it to NAFDAC, at that time. And they came, they inspected and approved the place for ointment. That's how I was able to start. Like I said earlier, we started with ointments. Then we moved to creams. And people used to know us as the ointment company. And by the time the growth, became, quite significant, we started to venture into other more sophisticated dosage form areas. For instance, a lot of even pharmacists, don't realize the fact that creams are probably the simplest pharmaceutical dosage forms to make. Yeah. If you have the know-how, they're the simplest. Ointments, they're the simplest. Now, we move from there to tablets. Because in tablets, you have several equipment to do several unit operations. You mill your ingredients, you granulate, you dry, and several, you mix and all of that. It costs money, to put up the facilities, to bring in the equipment, and then when you are able to set up for tablets, it's easy to add capsules to that, which we did. We moved from there, don't forget, while I was at Pfizer, I made practically all these dosage forms. So I had built up a lot of experience in that. And then, of course, we went into liquids, syrups, suspensions. We moved from there and we started going into sterile products, small volume injectables, eye preparations, eye drops. Then we finally moved into large volume parenteral infusions. So I would say we cover a lot of the dosage form areas. Creams, gels, ointments, syrups, suspensions, dry powders, tablets, capsules, eye drops. We're probably the largest manufacturer of eye drops in Nigeria. Small injections like B-complex, like paracetamol injection. Now intravenous fluids.
Well, my name is Tony Uzodimma Ihenetu. I'm originally from the Imo State and was born here in Lagos and grew up here in Lagos and left for the US in 1983 and got all the degrees in University of Minnesota up to the doctorate and postdoctorate level, and since then I've worked in the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, and the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and then worked in Cardinal Healthcare in the USA before venturing out of being independent. We got together during the late 90s and late 90s. Some of my colleagues, doctors and medical doctors and pharmacists, in the US, in Baltimore area, we got together, 5 of us, 5 doctors and 5 pharmacists, who got together to do something for Nigeria against HIV/AIDS. So this company, we contributed money. I happen to be the highest contributor. We set up something here to produce drugs specifically for HIV patients. Well, our mission first, the mission of the company is to provide quality medicines at affordable prices for Africans. We came at the time when Dora Akunyili just assumed the leadership of NAFDAC, and we identified that then over 60% of the medicines sold in Nigeria is adulterated or fake. And the reason for adulteration is profit. So we decided to bring these products at affordable prices. We make HIV medicines, we make antiretroviral pain medicines like paracetamol, it's called achitamol. We make anxiolytics, where we make antibiotics, ciprofloxacin. We make hematinics, and the whole category of products. Right now, we have about 62 products made in Nigeria here. And I can tell you, we take samples, I take samples to the University of Maryland in Baltimore and analyze them and make sure that they meet to our standards. And but what we're finding out recently is packaging. People go overseas, have fancy, beautiful package with substandard substance into that. So I will allow the public to be careful. You know, all that glitters is not gold. We have medium capacity machines. We cannot even, we have the capacity to produce let me say 2.4 million tablets, 4,500,000 milligram tablets, paracetamol every day. We have the capacity to produce 500 milligrams of our ciprofloxacin. We can produce over 3 million of that every day. In our liquid line, we have the capacity to produce close to 360,000 bottles a day of the 100 ml bottles. For the 60 ml bottles, we have the capacity to produce about 480,000. So it's quite on our capsule line, we do like 600 capsules per minute, and the capsule can run the machine can run about 19 hours. The rest 5 hours for cleaning up. And
this is Business and Economy Network.
Well, via this very time will permit us, I want to say thank you so very much. Remember, we started this year on a very high note, and we are looking at the issue of health. They say health is wealth. You must take care of yourself, just the way I will also take care of myself. And together, we are going to blend. We are going to make things happen in this glorious year of 2018. Wherever you are, I want to say thank you so very much. Let us keep praying for our nations, wherever you are watching from. Pray for our leaders, and more importantly, think of what you can do for your community, your state, your region, and your country. Not all the time what your community, your state, your region will do for you. I'm doing my own part. What are you doing in 2018? I will see you the same time next week, God's willing. Stay blessed.